Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. They come in playing pretty well, 6-3 in their last 9 games.
And the offense last week, they had things humming. If you're a defensive player, you may get overshadowed a little bit, but you're really buoyed by what your offense is doing.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. A gain of 3, second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They lost 4 there, and it's third down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now fourth down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Eagles will have it, taking over first and 10. Wentz and the Eagles now with a first and 10 at the 41-yard line. To throw is Wentz. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. The first down screen pass, good for 5. And this is a guy who last week not only helped his real team, but really helped a lot of fantasy teams. 3 trips to pay dirt. They've got to contain it.
And watching him play is like going to lunch with you when you order that combo plate, right? In this case, his combo plate is he can go over the top of you and catch it in front, turn it into a big game, run past you, and then uses his size and his physical abilities to keep you away from the football. Hard to defend this guy.
Reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Gold, gold. Black, come on.
From the gun on third down, Wentz. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line.
Pass interference. Defense.
Thought he had the pick. Flag comes in for PI, so cancel it out.
Interference. Oh, a killer for them. Thought they had a nice play. Instead, they'll be marching off yardage against them.
Throwing on first is Wentz. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
While we're not playing 3 yards in the cloud of dust football anymore, I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Now a first carry for Donnell Pumphrey. And inside the the 20 before he's brought down. That good for 19 and a first down.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw two tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and he ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
Throw right side is going to be caught by Samuel. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And Bryant's got it over the middle. He was locked in. 2 trips to the end zone, Charles, over 100 yards receiving.
How about the combination of route running, confidence going downfield, and the ability to go up and get the football? You're exactly right. It was hard for them to stop him.
Hang in there now. Hey,
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time. Now Wentz. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Martavis Bryant with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Eagles have taken the early lead. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. The extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. A look now at the defensive starters for Philadelphia. They really played well a week ago in that win over the Jets.
And all defensive teams that I know talk about creating turnovers. Takeaways, they call them. And anytime you can get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really, really good performance. They exceeded that number in a big way.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
I like his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
Freeman again, a 1st down carry. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Tackle that time by Sidney Jones.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. Looking deep. It's caught inside the 25. Falcons. Julio Jones, his 5th touchdown now on the year. Well, the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game. Now the extra point. Extra point right down the middle, and we are tied at 7. 5 plays there on that drive, and the Falcons score to cap it off. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. Jackson now to return. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. It's Desmond Trufant. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. So a pick 6 there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs.
Almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick 6 going the other way.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 14-7. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Jackson now to return. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Eagles offense back out onto the field. And they gave up the pick 6. And now they'll be looking to right the ship here. Now, as a quarterback, are you a little more cautious this go-around?
You should be, just because after what you gave up, but you can't be so cautious as to just really take things in, and now you're not going to play loose enough to give your team a chance to score. But you still have to be careful because those defensive guys, I know the reputation defense guys can't catch. All evidence to the contrary on that last possession, though.
Now they'll run it on the toss, and he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That burst good for 20 and a 1st down. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a 2nd time.
They'll run here with Pumphrey. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now Wentz. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Keanu Neal. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right?
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Right back to him on 1st down. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gordon. On second down, Freeman. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it, and it took the ball off course.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
Now Ryan swings it out to the flat for Freeman. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
They run. Devontae Freeman. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman, his 6th touchdown. Of the season, and the Falcons will add on to their lead. Point after try forthcoming. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 21-7. Here's Bosher to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about him.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Come on.
Wentz to throw on second down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Trying to get it there to Martavis Bryant, and it's third down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Wentz going to throw. He completes it to Bryant. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. A really nice gain of 25 yards. And they'll run it here. So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Bart, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
On the run, it's Pumphrey. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets him a new set of downs.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Wentz now on first down. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice gain.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
No.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
On second down, here's Wentz. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Bryant. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Wentz now to throw. And that is incomplete. Give credit to K.J. Wright. He was disrupting defensively.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
And his kick here is good. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. And for the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
Heading back onto the field, here's a look at Devontae Freeman now. So he'll be looking to get in the end zone again. Had the touchdown, as you see, last drive on 4 carries. And during the break, we were looking at some of the replays from the previous drive. Really good holes created, great space.
Yeah, I like the observation you had, though, during that break about, okay, they've got to do something to slow down their runners. So is it bringing in more defensive linemen? Is it dropping in extra linebackers? What are you going to do? Personally, I'm going to take my safety and drop him into the box. I'm going to have at least 7 in there until he shows that he can beat me through the air.
Yeah.
I've got to slow down the running.
I was just going to say, you'll take the exposure in the passing game over the top until you can prove that you can stop the running game.
Sometimes you go cold because you haven't thrown it in a while. Let's see if he can heat up again.
Block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. They go play action with Ryan. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Reuben Foster coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. Here's Matt Bosher now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now they try the right side here. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Vic Beasley able to make the tackle.
And while there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make him make someone miss in the open field.
Wentz now on first down. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Come on now, let's go.
Now Wentz. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. The Eagles send out their punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Now Sanders. It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt, 6 on the return. And the Falcons are set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Over the middle, complete. It's Freeman. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover. The angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it, when you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
2nd and 10, it's Ryan again. Left side here to Sanders. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. and you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And his kick is good. And that will get the lead up to 14. So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. It's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10.
Hey, kill.
Now a handoff looking right. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. All right, hang on. We'll jump over halftime. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the 3rd quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
Sunday.
Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. He finds an opening past the 40. Bryant with a catch right side. And all the way up to the 46. He had their lone TD earlier. Now he's got a first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep it.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. And before this 2nd down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
And now they're looking for 19 yards here on 3rd down following 2 negative plays. From the gun, it's Wentz. He's going to let this one go deep. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. A big play there for the Eagles on 3rd down. 43 yards. Well, it's one thing to grab it with one hand, but when you make a catch of that distance, quite another.
Yes, sir. I mean, that one right there, we keep talking about the high-flying antics that we're seeing from receivers nowadays. Doesn't matter what spot they start in. But when it actually does happen in the heat of battle,
blitz coming, and down he goes. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle.
Black. 81, 81.
Throwing his Wentz. Pass incomplete. Curtis Samuel, the intended target. And that takes us from second to third down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Man 5-7.
On third and long, it's Wentz. And an alley to run. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. That scramble good for 13 yards, but not good enough for a first down. It's fourth.
And they had an extra defensive back on the field on that play, and the coverage was excellent. He tried to pull it down and run for it, but they rallied to him and kept him short of a first down.
And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. And his kick is right there. It's good. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I talk to. They always say if I miss an extra point, that's the one that bothers me more.
They'll try to get the ground game going with Freeman. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Off the play fake. Here's Ryan. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll make it 3rd and 1.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Holding offense.
So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
We turn our attention here to Martavis Bryant. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
Now they try the right side here. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one 28 yards on the ground.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
Well, they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
Yeah, nobody leaked. Big play.
Black.
On 1st down, Wentz. Room to run inside the 40. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And all the way down to the 33-yard line. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about.
Intentional grounding, offense.
In the pocket, chucked it away, flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field, have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I've got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Grade 15, grade 15. Grade 15, grade 15.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. Still just the 3rd quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on 4th.
Black, come on.
They'll go for it. It's Wentz. And they're going to bring him down. Back across midfield at the 45. Vic Beasley in there to sack him. And that is 10 for him now on the year. Oh, offensive nightmare there. You go for it on 4th, and the play doesn't even really get to develop a sack.
And it's so unfortunate, too, because you think you've got something good called, but if your offensive line can't hold up, that's often the result. They find a way back to the quarterback.
On 1st down, Ryan. Looking sideline, incomplete.
No grounding call there. He had a receiver near the right sideline. It was pretty clear there. He just needed to get rid of that one.
And he did have a receiver in the area, but initially my view was obstructed, and I thought that was going to be grounding, but clearly the correct call made, and that is no call.
Is that why you threw your play sheet down? Is that why you did it? Is that the flag?
You can't be giving me up. I got a lot of issues up here in the booth. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
From the gun on 3rd down, Ryan. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not sure what you're thinking here, partner, but I believe the officials have done a nice job here getting together and then coming out and indicating that there was a receiver in the area.
Absolutely, and he was in the area. Correct call made, no grounding. And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent, that we made them specialists.
And now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Great 15, great 15. Hey, stat.
To throw, it's Wentz. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he will be taken down, but a big pickup there on what's going to be the final play of the third. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's the Eagles behind on the scoreboard, but with the football here as we start the fourth quarter. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Throwing on 1st is Wentz. This is caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Martavis Bryant, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Eagles have cut it back within a score.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. That last touchdown has made this really tight. They're clinging now to this slim lead. Second half, they only have a field goal. This offense needs to kick it into gear.
And right now, I'm looking directly at the field general, at the quarterback. Because to me, he's got to take over right now. By word, pumping his team up, and then, of course, by deed with his play. My school coach used to say that all the time. Laddie, take over by word and deed.
And deed means action.
Exactly.
And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Well, Brandon Pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
I know exactly why I tried to throw the ball to Julio Jones there. He's never considered covered. He's either too fast or too strong. You always try and get it to him.
Especially on those deep passes. On 3rd down, Devontae Freeman. And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down.
That was a terrific job by the defense stopping them on 3rd and short. But sometimes you get some visual cues from the offense because when they're going in short yard situations, you might see the offensive line come in tighter together, a little more shoulder to shoulder, trying to wedge a hole in the middle. They didn't get it done on that play.
Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Working from the gun, Wentz. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line. Well, why do you go out and spend a first-round pick on a defensive back? Plays like that. The rookie gets his first interception.
Exactly right, and you're trying to limit the number of plays an offense runs. You're trying to limit the number of possessions they have. And he was a guy that I targeted coming out of college and rated very highly for his playmaking skills on defense.
And now he has his first career interception. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. Over the middle, that's caught by Ridley. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. 18 yards the gain for number 18. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
Ryan now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Fletcher Cox breaking through to get him for a loss of 7.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And he's going to take this one down to the 25. 8 yards here, so that gets him back within striking distance. And now it's 3rd down. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Now Ryan. He goes underneath to Freeman. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. It'll be a pickup of just 2. And that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So that's a big one. Obviously, Charles makes it a 2-score game, his 3rd field goal of the game, able to knock it through.
Yeah, not exactly free and clear yet, but as a defense, you get to play a little bit looser, don't you? Because you do now have a little bit of a margin of error, don't you?
Carson Wentz and the Eagles make their way out to the field. With his guys trailing here in the 4th, he can ill afford a repeat of the interception that ended the last drive.
Yeah, you're 2 scores down. You take it upon yourself now to play perfect or near-perfect football if you want to get your team back into the game. But it's also tough to do when you're trying to avoid errors, yet still play perfect football.
Try to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Dancing to his left. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. Wentz now on first down. He's going to air one out. And this is taken in at the 5. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Martavis Bryant, his third touchdown of the game, number 9 on the season. There the Eagles are back within a score. Extra point attempt to follow here. Extra point right down the middle. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. So out come the Falcons now. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
Back 25.
Now it's Ryan. And he will find Ridley on the left side. And they'll get him down here at the 23. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 3rd down. That's Freeman. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up the 4th down. Here's Matt Bosher now. He's been terrific so far. Just a yard return there after a punt of 49. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Martavis Bryant and the offense getting set to go again here. And I think we both agreed he could have a really good game with this matchup, but over 200 yards now.
I don't think we saw it as that good. And I think what really makes it special is when games like this are occurring, it's not just getting locked in and in the zone and on a roll. It's continuing to adjust throughout the game because, you know, the defense is kicking coverages towards him, trying their best to slow him down, and he keeps getting the better of them.
Yeah, whatever they've done, it hasn't worked. Now here's a pass on 1st down that's knocked away and incomplete. This defense hasn't had the best showing in this game, but a critical knockdown there. If they can hang on, I guess the end will kind of justify the means.
Certainly, and just think of it this way. It may not be the quantity of the plays that they've had because those haven't been great, but they get a few more quality ones like that. That could finish things off for them.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 2nd down, a little more productive than 1st. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling him in the huddle right now.
back to throw. He completes it to Bryant. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Falcons say they have it. They do.
Well, that simply is a missed opportunity. They're in position. If they take the ball downfield and score, they got a chance to win the game. Instead, they cough it up. I don't think next week at practice is going to be a whole lot of fun for him.
On the other side, no bigger time to force a turnover when you've got that small lead.
Yeah, and when you look at it from the offense's perspective, taking care of the ball is so important. I know they're going to have all kind of ball security drills in practice all next week.
Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 seconds to go in the game. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. The Falcons in victory formation as they take a knee. The Falcons on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 11. A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for Atlanta, they pick up win number 4 on the campaign as they emerge victorious here. And they will head home next week to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for Philadelphia, it's a bit of a setback as they drop to 6-4 now. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon.